It's a new day, it's a new dawn, and it's a brand new draft league. But this one has got some quirks. Hey guys, what's up? IrishEmerald here, and welcome to a brand new draft league on the channel. Yes, no rest. There is no rest on this channel. We are gone. Especially considering how bad the UBL was. We need another draft league. We need to get back better. We need to keep grinding. Yeah, you guys get the picture here. Like we just gotta do better, and we gotta make playoffs. We gotta get a better coach competitive score if we want to qualify for the World Draft League Championships. So we just got I couldn't rest. I can't take a break. I can't. I just gotta keep going. So here we are. Brand new draft league, and it's called the CLTU, or Crazy Low Tier Ubers. Yeah, there's Ubers. So you're probably wondering what Ubers were available, what's the draft layout, what's the sitch, all that kind of good stuff. The link to the tiers and the general website for this league is in the description down below. If you guys probably know already, most of the draft leagues, or the prerequisite for me to be playing in any draft league is that the draft league is registered on the website, so I can get qualification points for the Draft League World Cup. This is a new league on that website, so you can see all the details in their page in the link in the description down below, including the tiers, which have some crazy stuff. I don't want to kind of run through what was there because there's going to be some spoilers. You're going to see some raised eyebrows. I kind of want you guys to kind of go and take a look yourselves. I just think it'd be better. I think it'd be more interesting rather than me grazing through it. I think it'd be better if you guys kind of looked yourselves and looked at the shock value and at some of the stuff that was just allowed, which was crazy. On top of that, you guys, we actually had like a tier system rather than a point system this draft. If you guys aren't familiar with tier and point systems, points basically Pokemon split into like several different tiers, like up to 20 tiers, all based on points. Draft like your tier kind of base format is your classic GBA style that you would have seen from from the very beginnings of Draft League, where you have 5 tiers and you have to draft from those 5 tiers. That's basically what we have. We have a tier system like that. So 5 tiers we've got to draft from, 4 free slots that we can draft Pokemon from, and 380 points to spend on those free Pokemon. Of course, each tier it costs a certain amount of points. So if you reach up into the high tiers, they're going to cost more points, and it means you have to balance out your free picks with Pokemon from lower tiers. Also, regarding like the format and all that with like scheduling and such, we have 6 weeks, so short season, which is quite nice. I think 6 weeks would be nice. It'd mean that we can get like this like kind of fun Ubers League done, and then we can start looking for something a bit more different, a bit more serious, which is pretty sweet. So we can get this Uber Leagues done, dusted, move on, and then we'll see where we are from that. We are also in conferences. So we're in one conference, and there's 6 other coaches in another conference. So the top 3 teams in each conference get to go into playoffs. So hopefully we're in the top 3 in our conference. But we do play every team in our conference at least once, and then we have one wildcard game. So that's pretty cool that we able to like get through those 6 weeks and get a few battles in and move on, which is awesome. Pretty happy with that. But yeah, that's all like the real admin info. You guys want to see what we drafted, and I don't blame you. Let's get into it. Actually, before we do, comment section, let me know who do you think was our first number 1 pick. Check out the tiers. Tell me what was our first overall pick. We had the 3rd pick overall. So we had scope to get something ridiculous. And speaking of something ridiculous, that's exactly what we got. We got Mega Blaziken. How this thing was allowed is bonkers to me. Absolutely bonkers. It was like allowed last minute. They did a vote. They allowed on a certain Pokemon, and they asked would we allow it or not. Mega Blaziken was in that discussion. I was like, what? They allowed it. I was like, whoa. And then it fell to me number 3, and I was like, thank you very much. If you guys aren't familiar, Mega Blaziken speed boost, +1 speed every single time it's on the field for a full turn. That's bonkers, right? So like 2 turns and no one's outspeeding me. Beautiful. And then you just gotta look at this, the EVs, the base stats. 160, 130. Beautiful. And I got 80 defenses and HP across the board, so I got enough bulk to be able to eat 1 to 2 hits. All right. And setup. You want to talk about setup? You want to talk about setup? We got bulk up. We got whole claws, but most importantly, we got swords dance. Like swords dance with 160 attack. Like, all right, easy money. So that was our first pick. And I was delighted. I was like, right, we will build around that, like easy, grand, no problem. Let's go with it. So this next pick, you guys, right? I've been asked to get this Pokemon for a while. I've been asked to draft it. I've been asked to get this Pokemon back in a new form, since it's been a long time since I drafted it. And I've heard, I've listened, and I've thought about it, and I came to the conclusion that this second Pokemon, it's going to work. It's going to do work for us. And we drafted it this time around. So when the draft came back around, we picked up Nerve, the Tornadus Therian. And look, I think this Pokemon is better than it ever has been, because knockoff is so powerful this gen. And I've got into that in like, or if I haven't already, I will. Actually, I haven't. I know now. I will know I haven't done this, but in a future video, I'll be discussing what my main thoughts are between the differences between Gen 7 and Gen 8. And for me, one of the big things, I'm just going to touch on it now, is that knockoff is incredible. And being able to constantly keep your HP high. I know this sounds very simplistic, but it was so different back in Gen 7, where you were looking to be like break, and if you were able to keep the offense while keeping up, able to slow down your opponent's offense, you were more likely going to win. But being able to kind of just be more of a nuisance and knocking things off, punishing switch-ins, that has become the more of a meta this gen, and Nerve does that phenomenally. 1-2-1 base speed, it gets knockoff, it gets U-turn, and it gets set up a nasty plot. What more do you want? What more do you want? And I've listened to you, and I've done it. And with Generator, we're set. I think this is going to work out really, really nicely, and I'm looking forward to using Nerve to Tornadus on the squad. Moving on, our next pick came around very, very quickly. This Pokemon was still on the board in Tier 2. Because most of the main Pokemon you would see in draft were in Tier 2, because Ubers, we're allowed Ubers in Tier 1. So this Pokemon was knocking around, and honestly, I just, after dealing with this a couple of times in like the first few leagues I was in, and I saw it available, I was like, I'm grabbing this, because this thing causes so much stress in prep, and it does so much work, so I'm picking it up. And that Pokemon is Drumstick the Rillaboom. So we picked up Rillaboom, and I am stoked to be using this Pokemon. 1-2-5 base attack, that's insane, right? Like, you just remove Blaziken. Like, Blaziken is like ridiculous, right? But 1-2-5 base attack is just ridiculous on like a normal draft league level. So we got an incredibly high attack stat. We have, you know, nice, really good bulk, and then we get the grassy terrain, which is fantastic. With the grassy glide, which is fantastic, we were able to get like, you know, +1 priority. And because of terrain boosts, grassy glide, it means we basically have a 91 base power priority stab move. That's ridiculous. Like this makes this thing broken. We get all the utility that Rillaboom gets: superpower, knockoff, U-turn, Swords Dance. This thing is absolutely ridiculous, And I saw it available, and I was like, yeah, imagine this thing paired with, you know, Mega Blaziken and Tornadus Therian. Like, this is ridiculous. I have a Pokemon that nerfs ground type attacks, and I got an immunity, and I'm able to turn in and out of anyone that wants to come in on a Rillaboom, like a fire type. You know, I'm able to kind of pivot in around with Tornadus too. Like, I'm able to draw in Pokemon that want to come in and deal with Rillaboom, and you turn out and revenge kill with like my offense. It's ridiculous. So really like that setup. I think it works really, really nice together. I think it's just going to be ridiculous. It's just going to be ridiculous, and I can't wait to see it in action. After that, you guys, if some of you guys were on stream watching me do some of this, because I was talking about it on stream, I was really kind of thinking about what I'm going to draft fourth, right? So I didn't have, if you look at the team, even though it's ridiculous and it works really well together, no spikes, no hazards, like one hazard removal and Torn, which is really, really nice, but no steel type, no fairy type, no dragon type. So like, there was a load still on the board. Like, don't get me wrong, there's loads I still could have drafted, but I was like, this is tough. This is hard. Like, we have to make sure this decision is going to patch up some holes that we've kind of left. And I decided to pick up Keys to Klefki. Like, I figured Klefki's able to do loads here. It causes steel fairy typing, which is great. Gives me the hazard control that I wanted. Gives me screens, which allows me to set up, allows Blaziken to set up more, allows Rillaboom to set up more, allows Tornadus Therian to potentially set up, and it gives me like, you know, Thunderwave, you know, Toxic, you know, stuff like that. I'm just a nuisance. I just become an absolute nuisance with Klefki. So I was like, this works for us. Like, this Klefki is going to do magnificent work, and you know, it fits the gap that we need. So welcome to the squad. Draft came back around to me very, very quickly once more, and I was looking at Pokemon. I was also mindful of tiers now, right? So There was an awful lot of stuff still on the board. Zygarde 50% was still on the board. Necrozma, Jirachi. There was like loads of stuff I was like, damn, I would love to get him. But the one thing I really wanted, right, I wanted a Regen Core. I've never used Regenerator Core once now. I've used Regenerator Pokemon, but I've never used the Regen Core in my draft leagues. Never have gotten like a dual Regenerator Pokemon where I could just pivot in around constantly and keep them healthy with Regenerator. I've never been able to use it. Never went out and drafted it. And I just figured, you know, I'm not letting this opportunity pass. I got Tornadus. I'm going to grab another Regenerator Pokemon. I want it. Never used it. And I decided to pick up Galarian Slowking because it was cheap. It fitted a tier 3 and I needed a tier 3 to fill out like the format I was talking to you guys about earlier. We had to have like 1 tier 1, 2 tier 2s, 2 tier 3s, a tier 4 and tier 5. So it fitted in tier 3, delighted. And this thing is just ridiculously bulky. We have 110 speed F, 110 special attack. That hits hard, right? 80 defense, 95 HP, brilliant. Regenerator, as I mentioned before. And then the move pool. Oh, look, like I'm just like you'll see me scroll down this move pool right here. Like, you know, you just gotta look at some of these. Like we have psychic, fire, fighting, grass, you know, water, ice. We got screens. I can set up nasty plot. I got power gem for ground coverage. I have shadow ball, skull, surf. You know, sludge bomb, sludge wave, stored power if I wanted to be that guy with calm mind, and then I have thunder wave as well. It's bonkers. So like the coverage that Galarian Slowking gets with that Regenerator pivoting is beautiful. The one thing that Galarian Slowking doesn't have over the Slowking and Slowbro, if you guys are thinking about drafting it, is that it doesn't get teleport, right? And that's the main reason why it's in tier 3 and it's a little bit cheaper. And obviously that does suck. I would love to have teleport to just be able to, like, you know, pivot around a little bit more, but I'm okay with this because like we have loads of pivoting already. I got U-turn on Blaziken as well, by the way. I never mentioned that. So I figured just getting this thing in and being able to click a move is really, really nice. So we're going to go with this and hopefully Voodoo. I totally forgot to type in your name, Voodoo. Don't kill me. But Voodoo, this Galarian Slowking will do the work for us. Now this next Pokemon, I've no doubt people might disagree with this. And I've no doubt people are going to be like, Irish, did you really pick this up? And I'm okay. I'll accept it. I'll accept it. But I needed a water type. Needed a ground type. I'm pretty sure based on those two sentences alone, people have realised what I've gotten. Wanted rocks. Wanted a bit of momentum. So I went with Swampert. We got Big Papa Pump. You guys have seen it plenty on the channel recently. Ever since my comeback, I've been using Swampert a lot more. We get rocks. We get flip turn. We get all that kind of nonsense. We get like really nice overall base stats. It's really nice and bulky. It's able to come in and do a shift first. So I'm happy out with that. I think Swampert, really nice addition to the squad. I'm not really going to go too much in depth with it. If you've been around for a while, you know what Swampert does. Delighted to see it on the squad. Now at this point, I was trying to figure out what we're going to do with our free picks and how we're going to structure the rest of our draft. Like we've gotten like insane offense at the start. We'll have to pick up a little bit of bulk and a little bit of utility, which is really nice. And I was honestly figuring out as to like, do we get Zygarde? Do we get like something else in tier 2 that's really offensive? And you know, Pokemon are starting to be picked up now, so there's like the limits were slowly starting to fade away. But this round, I figured we need something that's probably again a little bit more bulkier, especially on the phys dev side, and that could be a little bit more of a nuisance. And another thing was I really want to knock off. It was something that I was like really stressing. Something I ignored a lot in my previous drafts was that we do not have knockoff that forces switch-ins, and I'm of the opinion if you get bulk has to punish. So I figured let's get the Figurus. King Tut is here, and King Tut is going to give me bulk, but it's also going to make sure I'm able to punish Pokemon that want to switch out with knockoff. I get Body Press, which stops the Dark types coming in and really setting up on me. And Mummy can be quite useful too, in order to just shut down like different abilities and use abilities against other Pokemon. So I think, you know, Figures can do plenty of work, and we get a lot of utility. We get Toxic Spikes as well, which is really, really nice. So I think King Tut is going to do a nice little bit of work, and it's nice and low tier bulk too, so I'm really happy with that. Alright, we need a dragon at this point. I haven't got a dragon, and the reason why I didn't draft the dragon earlier is because I was humming and hawing which one we get. Zygarde, there's other ones. Mence was tier 2, and I didn't want to reach up for Mence. I didn't think Mence was worth the points that it actually gives you. So I figured let's pass on Mence. So I figured we'd go low tier here. And I got a little bit of heat for this from my front office at the time, but I told them the plan, and they kind of went along with it then, because there is a plan. Because at this point, when we drafted this Pokemon, I knew what I was going to be picking up later down the line for one of our major pickups in our free picks. But I picked up Drudigon. Clearly Drudigon is here. And the reason why I picked up Drudigon was because Drudigon gives me nice chip. And chip is going to be necessary for our next Pokemon. But gives me nice chip on a lot of Pokemon with rough skin. I was really happy with that. And then of course I get a lot of bulk here. With 120 base attack, which is really, really sweet. And I can also run this offensive with Sheer Force and Mold Breaker, which is really, really nice. And we get rocks. We get like a lot of coverage here, as you can see. So we're able to hit an awful lot of things as we go along. I also get Glare for free. So Glare is not going around like a paralyze certain Pokemon, which is really nice. So as the game goes on, Drudigon's able to do an awful lot of work. It's able to be a nuisance. It can be an offensive presence. Rough Skin, Rocket Helmet is a really nice combination for just getting a nice chip on and stuff. So, I figured that combination is really, really nice. And it was going to really play into what I had planned next. So the last time we played a full season on this channel before my retirement, we had one Pokemon that caused so much stress and prep. It opened up the door for pretty much my whole team. We managed to get into semi-finals that season. Went up against top 5 opponent. We lost, happens. But we create absolute havoc with this, and I figured this Pokemon, if you're an old fan of the channel, you know what this is, but I figured this Pokemon with Mega Blaziken, with Rillaboom, just completes an insane Fire Water Grass core, and that's Ash Greninja. So Ash Greninja was allowed. I was hesitant to get it because one thing I've preached about Ash Gren after using it was that in Draft League it's very difficult to get Ash Gren because you don't, players just do not give you Battle Bond. They just know I cannot give the Ash Gren Battle Bond because it's a nightmare. And they're dead right. But it creates so much space because people fear Ash Gren so much, it opens up the door for the rest of your team. So, really big fan of Ash Gren because of that, even though a lot of people say, oh, you can just get Battle Bond and GG's. Doesn't quite work like that, unfortunately. But we got Ash Gren. Everyone kind of knows what this thing does by now. Water Shuriken, Surf, it's able to hit on both physical and special. The coverage is deep with Ice Beam. The it gets U-turn, so it's able to pivot. It gets spikes, so I'm able to set up spikes on predicted switch outs. It's punishing. It's punishing. And then you just see the stats there already, guys. 145 attack, 153 special attack, 132 speed. That's bonkers, right? That's absolute bonkers. So very difficult to be able to outrun Ash Gren and then being able to beat Ash Gren. So really liking Ash Gren. I think it's going to open up a lot of doors for our team, particularly with Mega Blaziken. Can you imagine having to sit in front of a team with Mega Blaziken, Rillaboom, and Ash Gren and try to deal with that? I don't think many teams do deal with that. So really happy to see Ash Gren on board. Beautiful stuff. That brings us down to our last two Pokemon then after that, folks. And honestly, these two Pokemon, cheap, and they're just there to fill a void and fill in plugs in our team that we needed. One such plug was that we didn't really have a Wish Passer or something to be able to do with Pult, that kind of thing. And I decided we'd grab Audino for that. Audino being a normal type kind of shuts down Pult's ability to try and do a little bit of damage because Pult is still a nuisance, so that's a bit of a problem. And also helps with giving us plenty of bulk to be able to deal with some of the Ubers that are knocking around in this draft league. So Audino is very, very good for that. Should be really, really nice. And again, knockoff. It gets knockoff, so that just made it a little bit more sweet for me that I get Wish Passing and knockoff, and it'll just be a little bit more of a nuisance. And then you just look at the stats, defensively it's great, offensively it's piss poor, so it's not going to be able to do too much. But it's all about just being a nuisance. I think with these bulky monsters, you just need to be able to punish switch outs and switch ins, and I think Audino does that. And then last but not least, we have discharged our Electrifier, filling that void where we do not have an electric type, and it also filled the speed void. That was one thing that was missing on our squad. We didn't have someone that's between that 100 and 75 base speed to stop that Pokemon within that speed range running Adamants, Modest and stuff like that. So I want to get one Pokemon that was kind of sitting in there just to snuff that out, and that's what Electrifier does. So really happy that A, we fill a void with our electric type, and B, we fill a speed tier. So that was what really drove me to get Electrifier. We have an electric immunity with Motor Drive, which is nice because it means that I don't have to rely on Swampert to do that the whole time. And then we get really nice coverage here. We're a physical attacker. We get fighting coverage. We get we do get some nice stuff on the special side too, because we're not a bad special attacker, which is pretty sweet. But we do get fire coverage, electric coverage, ground coverage. We can set up screens. We can set up subs. We can teleport as well, which is ridiculous. So we do get a teleport user too. And we can full switch around. So Electrifier, nice niche pick. It will do a couple of things for us, and hopefully it will do the job when called upon this season. So folks, you should be able to see the full team there in front of you now. Mega Blaziken, Tornadus, Rillaboom, Klefki, Galarian Slowking, Swampert, Configurus, Druddigon, Greninja, Audino, and Electrifier. That's a bonkers combo for me. And as I was mentioning in that draft recap, the combination of Mega Blaziken, Rillaboom, and Ashgren is going to cause absolute nightmares. Tornadus Terrier is going to be able to kind of draw in Pokemon that is, you know, that will allow Mega Blaziken and Rillaboom to really exploit. Ashgren is going to be definitely be a problem, and with Druddigon and a couple of other Pokemon being able to get the chip that it needs, we would be able to get Battle Bond, I'm hoping, a lot more easier than most times. And like that again opens up doors for fire type. Like Gren would be able to beat the fire types for Rillaboom, and you turn around. Rillaboom would be able to beat the grass types for Mega Blaziken and pivot around. Blaziken would be able to beat the grass types for Greninja and pivot around. That's all bonkers. Like those three Pokemon together, I think is a lethal combination. And then I think we have plenty of support around this team to be able to let it shine. So yeah guys, that's the squad. I'm going to be trying to upload these videos on Saturdays, so make sure you check it out on the channel. Make sure you click the like button down below, the sub button, all that kind of good stuff to let me know you guys are hyped for this season. Hopefully we make playoffs. I'm really hopeful that we can actually make playoffs for once since my retirement, so that'd be nice. If you guys are not following me over on Twitch already, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. Link to that is in the description down below. And yeah, on that note, I'm just going to get on up out of here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.